So, hello everyone, MeNoHaxor here. Gonna bring you guys a Braum commentary. And I actually haven't played Braum a whole lot this season, to be fair, which is why I haven't done one in a long time. But I think Braum is pretty much back in the meta now. I think there's a couple reasons for that. One is just because that ever since the Juggernauts came top lane, like, people like Fiora and other kind of auto attack based top laners make picking Braum much more reasonable because Braum, what makes Braum really good is his passive, because if you can have allies that can apply the stacks really quickly, he becomes very strong in team fights. And so having a lot of auto attack based people, which started to become more popular since Seta junglers and the Juggernaut's top lane, definitely made Braum much more valuable pick. Also, Janna got nerfed a lot, so there needs to be a better disengage support, and Braum is quite good at disengaging compared to most of the current meta supports right now. And Alistar also got a little nerfed, so that's why Braum is, I think, a very good choice if you want to look for a good support to practice right now. So we're against a Thresh Kalista lane. Unfortunately, we both did double jungle, but they got level 2 first, which is really bad because that basically means that we're getting wrecked in trades. But we did the trades pretty well because Caitlyn was able to apply my passive quite a bit, so we didn't really lose that much. But if you ever do double jungle, you should really look to make sure how many creeps you miss, because if you miss a lot, then you're pretty screwed. So here, I'm just trying to apply the passive on both the Caitlyn and the Thresh just to scare them off. We don't quite win the trade there. I think that was about even. But you can see that just applying the passive on each of them is putting a lot of pressure on them because they basically have to back off. Now, I'm going to Lee Sin jump to me first, and then I'm going to try to get up, but unfortunately, Lee Sin and Kalista both flash. But that's okay, because now I know Kalista flashes down, and that relieves a lot of pressure for us, because that means I can go on Kalista pretty aggressively now. Also note that the wave is pushing towards us right now, so that means that if we just freeze the lane right here, they have to start walking up even closer, which gets pretty dangerous for them, because that means they have to stay farther back. You know, they have to be careful about Lee Sin just coming in for a gank. So that's pretty good for us. So you can see now how Caitlyn's not really autoing that much. We're both just trying to let the wave come up more forward, and then that makes them come up more forward as well. You can also see Gragas is here, but he actually stepped on a trap. So now we know he's pot, so that gank kind of failed. But I don't think they could have really killed us either way, because Braum is quite tanky, and we were already really close to our turret, so it wasn't too big of a deal. So we see here that none of them are here, so we're just going to start pushing the lane as fast as we can, because if they backed, we also have to try to back as well to kind of match them. And luckily for us, since they backed first, that means Caitlyn has a little bit more money to spend, so that means she gets a pickaxe and a couple pots, as opposed to Kalista, who only can get a vamp scepter and a pot. So she got about 100 more gold, which is pretty good. So you should always try to back off after your opponent's backed off first, so that way you have more money to spend in general. So here we're doing a really small exchange. I get the passive of proc on Thresh, and we pretty much win that trade. Thresh has to burn, I think, 2 pots there, so that's quite good for us. Just basic jumping in and protecting Caitlyn. So I, once again, shield. So here, actually, this is really important. Let me back off for a second so I can show you what happens here. So here, I'm like, okay, Thresh is charging up his Q, so I'm just gonna put up my shield and run towards Caitlyn, because regardless of what happens, the shield is like white enough so that way I'll get hooked like no matter who he targets, and that's really good for me because I don't really take any damage when I have my shield up. That also lets me get closer to them so I can apply my passive. So he hooks me, that's fine. I'm getting basically dragged towards Thresh, and now I see Kalista just jump right here, so I know she's going to be right about here, so I'm going to throw my Q right there. So now she gets tagged. Now I see Caitlyn goes for one more auto. I immediately try to go for the flash auto to get the 4th proc off, but what's really bad is that I lose vision of Kalista right when she walks into this bush. Like, if I turn off Fog for our side, literally when I flash, she walks into the bush, which sucks. I should have trinketed much faster in anticipation of that, but I didn't. And I'm trying to get the auto, but I lose it right when I get it again, because Thresh plays me, which is really good. But Caitlyn does get the one last auto off. That means I get Ignite, and then Caitlyn goes for a Q, and that means her heal gets reduced, and then my Ignite does get the kill on Kalista. Now I'm able to get the passive proc on Thresh, and then he has to flash out or else he dies. So there, that was only possible just because I knew Kalista flash was down, and that I was able to predict her jump, and then throw a Q off to get her. So even though I messed up my flash right there and kind of wasted it, It was, the idea is there. And if I got the 4th proc off, it would have been a much like cleaner kill, I guess. But in the end, it still gave us the kill, and we're now much farther ahead in lane, which is quite good. Let me switch this back to all perspective. So I queued there in the bush first because I saw Thresh was bot, and I figured he was probably going to ward that, and I just wanted to see if he was there just to face check, or instead of face checking. And now we're just going to try to farm the lane. Just play pretty passively for now until our cooldowns are up again. So I'm going to pink this for now. I see they're kind of in the river, kind of walking around, not really doing much. But unfortunately, I have to walk all the way around to go back to Caitlyn. Kind of sucks. So here, I think they were going to engage, but I'm going to fight right now because I'm 6, Caitlyn's 6, and Thresh is not 6. He's the only one that's 5. So that means I can basically jump on them. And now when I get the stun on the Thresh, I'm going to position my ult so that way, Kalista, if Kalista jumped backwards here, which I thought she was going to do, she would get hit. But she smartly jumps downward, so that was a good play on her part. She ults the Thresh, which is definitely really good once again. I almost get the auto off on the Kalista before I get knocked up, which kind of sucks, because if I got the auto off right here, it would be way easier to kill her. But I luckily, very, very luckily laned my Q, because that means that Caitlyn does get the last proc off with that headshot, and then now the Kalista dies. Also, the Malphite is teleporting here, so we're pretty much screwed, because she just gets blown up. Now, I'm going to slow this down for a little bit. So I jump to a creep, right? And I see Thresh, like, if you look right now, Thresh is getting auto-attacked by every single one of these ranged minions right now. And I know that, like, my chances of getting out now is basically none since Malphite is here. So I'm just going to choose a turn. I Q, and I start autoing him, and then the minions literally finish him off. I probably should have tried to dodge that Q on the Thresh right there, but that's okay. And I'm just running for my life. Now, Malphite is pretty much just autoing me like crazy, but I know he's going to Q. So right when the Q is about to hit, I put up my shield, negate the damage, and now I'm just going to try to circle around this turret, and I try to survive. I just now pop a potion, but that kind of sucks because Malphite ends up eating me, and I die. And if I popped my potion a little bit earlier, I definitely would have lived that E, and I probably could have killed him under this turret. But it's really not that big of a deal, because Lee Sin comes in, and he gets a free kill. So that ends up working out quite well for us. That was a 2 for 2. And we also burned Malphite teleport, and this basically means Olaf gets a lot more free farm top. So that's a pretty good win for us. Unfortunately, this Orianna is just getting wrecked really hard, and you'll see how this game is going to get much harder very soon because of that. And I don't know why the Lee Sin decided to fight them there. That was like super random, but I basically jump here, so I walk over so he can jump to me to get out. Otherwise, he's screwed. And here, I'm just trying to maintain my pink ward pressure right here. Keep pressuring their bot lane, because right now, we just have to make sure that we keep winning bot lane, because other lanes are not doing... Well, mid lane's not doing very well at all. And you can see just, like, by popping my shield every time Thresh tries to engage, like, I don't take any damage. So, they're just really screwed at this point. Like, we're so much stronger than them, and I'm applying so much more pressure. We're also weapon levels as well. So, Caitlyn's going back, so I'm going to go back as well. I guess I could talk about items a little bit. So, I ended up, on my first back, upgrading to a Targon's Brace, because with Braum, you generally want Face of the Mountain as your main gold regeneration item. And so, getting the gold regeneration as soon as possible is quite good, because getting 1 stack every 30 seconds is a very big difference than the first upgrade of Relic Shield. So, I highly recommend you upgrade that first to this if you're planning to get Face of the Mountain. Like, you have to plan this like way ahead of time. And then I want mobility boots because I value mobility a little bit more than Sightstone, but that's just my personal playstyle. So I saw Thresh was mid, right? So I basically called to dive the Kalista because we have a really big wave bot, and I know it's a 2v1. So Caitlyn's going to ult first, which I guess is okay. And right now, I'm just waiting for Kalista to jump. As soon as I see her auto me, I place the ult so that way she gets knocked up in the air, get a free Q off now, and then I start hitting her. Get one more auto off, and Caitlyn's going to go for the auto Q, but my Ignite unfortunately takes the kill. But that does secure us this turret, and we deny a ton of farm. And we choose not to hit the turret, because that way this turret will kill more of our creeps, which pretty much denies Caitlyn, or denies the Kalista even more farm, so that's good for us. Now, now that we took that bot turret, I'm going to try to get vision for our mid lane, because our mid lane is 0 and 4 right now. So I'm pretty much just going to try to babysit, just clear a lot of the vision that they have, because they have a lot of pink wards and a lot of vision just set up. So I put a pink ward here, which is a really good choke point in case they try to come bot or do invading kind of things. And then I knew there was a pink ward here, so I cleared that as well. I probably should have checked this bush, but it's okay. Now, I see they're pushing bot again, so I'm going to go bot. Lee Sin's also going to come bot. So Lee Sin is going to go for the kick on the Callista, which is the correct person to kick. He gets a really nice knock up on the Thresh as well. I wish my Q hit the Callista, but that's okay. Callista barely flashes out, which sucks because that means that she's going to bring Thresh over. And that means that Thresh gets out pretty much for free, which kind of sucks. But it's not too big of a deal. We're going to start Dragon now. It's pretty much like, it's a 5v4, right? So like, we think we're okay, but we see the Malphite teleporting here. And so basically right now, like if you look at our positioning, there's 4 of us right here, there's 4 right here, and our Ori's just like, I don't know why she's there. But basically, I'm going to try to zone them out as much as possible, because I kind of want to like create a really big wall in case they try to engage like this, like they can't get in very easily. So Ori just flat out misses her ult, so that kind of sucks. And then Ahri basically just dashes straight in. Malphite gets a 3-man ult, and then Gragas ults all of us, and we pretty much just lose the fight because of that. So Ori's positioning was just really, really bad. Like, I don't know why she was over the cliff here, and then she whiffed the ult on the Ahri, which also really sucked, and then we pretty much lost the fight straight up, even though it was a 5v4, which shouldn't have happened. They get the turret off this, which is pretty bad. But I'm just going to try to push mid with the Ori. Get a little bit of pressure back before the Ahri comes back. And then I'm going to just try to clear wards. So I know that they cleared a lot of our vision. And I know this is still warded, but I probably should have gone to clear it. But that's okay. I use my sweeper here just to check for more vision. Make sure Caitlyn's safe. I do see one ward right there, but I can't really kill it. So I just tell my team that there's a ward there. Just so that they know. It's always good to just ping for wards. Put a ward there just so that Ahri can't roam bot. And then I'm going to clear this pink ward that was in here that Malphite teleported on. And that kind of just shows you like how things can get out of like, control. There's like a really big butterfly effect in this game, right? Because if before when I was getting vision of here, when I first went to mid, if I checked this bush right here to get the pink, to kill the pink, then Malphite would not have been able to teleport. And then that probably would have changed that fight at Dragon by a pretty big amount. So that was definitely something that was my fault. And I don't know how Ori died there. And now, like, they're just straight up just diving us once again. I get flash charmed by the RE, and I'm just going to try to escape. I get knocked over by the wall, or by the barrel, and the return Q kills me, unfortunately. That was just kind of a waste of flash on my part. I really thought I could get out, but that's okay. At this point, we're not doing too hot. Like, we're really far behind now. Ori's 0-5 now, and things are not looking too good, but this is where it gets interesting. So, Olaf gets charmed here, and I'm not sure what we're really going to do, because it's a 3v3, and we're not in too good of a spot right now, but I'm trying to soak as much damage as I can. Ori gets a pretty good 3-man ult. I throw a Q on the Thresh, and Olaf just goes super ham. Like, I don't know what he's doing, but he's trying to dodge everything. He does end up dodging, like, actually everything. I get 1 Q on the Ahri, and I get everyone pretty slowed down. I almost die, but I luckily get a shield off, and I jump to the Olaf. I was like Q right here, which sucks a lot, because if I got my Q off, this Callista would be super dead, because Caitlyn would just keep autoing. But, somehow we're all getting out. And then, like, we all pretty much just turned back. I'm staying really far back and just, like, fetching Qs every now and then. And we somehow aced them. I'm very surprised we got the ace off, but we did. And then I make the call to just push straight mid 2 turrets. Like, all 3 of their main people are still dead, and it's only Thresh here. So I'm just saying, like, oh, just ignore the Thresh, we're going to keep going. Like, it's totally okay. So you end up getting that turret, and now we all back off. I think many people would not have gone for that second turret right there, but I think it's really important to just recognize who is dead on the enemy team and just take a chance, because we were pretty far behind. So I'm glad I made that call. Now I'm just going to keep defending with Ori, chilling out. Trying to get vision around Baron, just in case, because now Baron just spawned, and they could potentially do it with Callista, but it'd be really slow, so it's probably worth it to have vision. And we did see that they all went top to kill Olaf, so I make the call to go to Dragon. So we all head to Dragon and kill it for free, which is quite good for us. Now, I'm going to start heading back mid a little bit just to see where they go. I see the Thresh like warded our jungle a little bit, so I know that our jungle is probably warded, but I can't really clear it because I don't exactly know where it is, but I do know that they're trying to get Baron vision. So I make sure that I try to keep establishing vision around here. I don't know why Lee Sin went in right there. He's crazy. But he did force the Malphite teleport, which is kind of funny. I'm trying to throw Qs to slow the Malphite down because I don't want him to ult us. And I put a ward right here in case they keep approaching. But you can see that right now they're really hungry for Baron vision. So I get hooked right here, and Thresh just goes in, and I'm one. What? So I ult through the wall right here to try to slow them down, but I get Malphite ulted, Ahri just jumps over the wall. There's basically a lot of chaos going on. And so I have to make a choice on whether I want to try to help kill the Ahri, but or I can try to help my team right here, because we're all trapped right here. So I know Ahri's a much bigger priority target, she has 9 kills, but I mean, I'm looking here and I'm like, okay, there's an Ori and a Caitlyn. I think they can kill the Ahri. So I'm going to focus more on this fight right here when there's 3 of us, because Olaf and Lee Sin are much more important. So I shield, get the Q off on the Callista, but I don't think we're in enough range to kill her. Actually, Caitlyn just healed, but she got the red buff, which is good. And now it's just like, now it's a 3v3, right? I guess Ori's getting wrecked, so she's pretty screwed. So here, I try to get the Q on the Ahri, I do, but I barely just don't kill her. And then Caitlyn missed her Q. I get the wall off to block the charm, but the W kills me, which sucks. I thought my Q was enough to kill the Ahri, but I just severely overestimated my Q damage. And then because of that, we aren't quite able to get the rest of the kills. Like, Olaf kills the Gragas, but Ahri still lives, which is kind of bad because Ahri is really the person that needs to die in these team fights. She has so many kills. Anyways, so I know we had a fight here, so there's probably a lot of wards, so I'm just trying to get Baron vision, clear everything up. So I go back immediately once again, but my team basically fights. And I don't know how they got a kill on Callista, to be perfectly honest, but this Olaf is just going ham, so he just like wrecks everyone. I'm literally not there. But I'm here now, and we somehow get 3 kills. So now I'm like, okay, let's just go get Baron vision. So I'm putting wards everywhere, and I see Malphite, I tag him with my Q, and I decide, okay, let's just kill him, because it's a 5v2. So we get the free Malphite, and I put the wall up just in case Ahri tries to dive us, so I blocked pretty much everything there. Unfortunately, they are going to get away, which kind of sucks, but I don't think we could have done Baron either way. We could have at least gotten vision, so that's okay. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to just head immediately back to Baron because I know that they're going to try to get vision on it. Very desperate for it now. But just the fact that Thresh is warding this constantly basically means that they want to do Baron. So I'm trying to get vision of it. That's like my #1 priority. And we also know that Dragon's about to spawn, but for whatever reason, Lee Sin goes in for the steal. And that's really bad because now they can try to get Baron, now that they know that our jungler's not here. I'm like trying pretty desperately to get vision and get some wards, and this is like really, really bad, right? So I jump out here. Thresh engages here, so they're in a really bad choke spot, right? Like they're all basically creeped up right here. Olaf is on the side, and I decided to just ult right here just to disengage for us. I do get hooked, but you can see right now they're just all grouped up. They're all slowed by my ult right now, and like they're literally screwed. Like Ori gets off a huge ult, and then we just wreck them. So I can't believe that they all walked through this choke point, but this ward right here really helped a lot because we basically had vision on all of them, and then Ori was able to get off a 5-man ult or a 4-man ult, and then we win the fight. So wards wins games. I guess in terms of item progression, I built the Zeke's because I think Zeke's second item is one of the best items you can get in the game still. Very strong, and especially I need it for someone like Caitlyn, who doesn't really have a damage spike in the mid game. I'm trying to chase the Ori out here. We like almost get her. I can't believe we didn't get her there. But after the Ori ult, I just ult as well, just to chain CC. We didn't kill anyone, but we got them really low, and we killed the Gragas. So I guess that's okay. And then now my team is pretty much like super strong because we have the Baron buff. So we're just gonna keep going in. Like, yeah, like they're chucking us, sure, but like we're pretty strong when we have Baron, and I kind of want to stay, but I'm getting like really, really low, and I'm getting like pretty ham right here, but I trust my team to protect me. I'm just buying space. I somehow still live through that ignite because of the Ori ball, which is quite nice. And you can see, like, even though I'm so low, I'm still like throwing Qs out. And I'm kind of watching the Gragas in case he ults, but he already used it, so I know I'm okay. I literally jumped back in to save the Caitlyn, put a shield up, and Q slowed the Gragas, which is just really brave of me. And then here, Malphite is just running in with Home Guard, and I'm just like piecing the hell out. I'm just trying to throw a Q, and he almost ults me, but I barely flash out. So that was kind of cool. Good to have a strong reaction time, I guess. And then we pretty much win the game. So basically, here, I'll pause it here since the game is literally over. So the summary of this game is that even if your mid lane is like 0 and 5, one of the best ways to kind of save your mid lane from getting wrecked so much is you have to take this turret as soon as you can. Like, you really have to make sure you win bot lane, take this turret, and then rotate mid and get the vision for your team. Because by doing that, like, we pretty much were able to force the dragon immediately, which, I mean, to be fair, we didn't win the dragon fight, but it at least, like, stopped the mid lane from just keep getting ganked over and over and keep dying to the Ahri. And then by kind of accelerating the pace of the game, we ended the laning phase, so that way that we can start doing actual team fights where Ori could potentially get kills. And, you know, especially this fight right here, when it was a 5v4 and they were chasing us, like, my ult combined with the Ori ult basically won us the game 100%. Like, literally no one did anything else except for me and Ori that fight. So, you know, it really just comes to show that, like, it's important to recognize when your team is in not a good spot and to figure out solutions on how to help your teammates out, even if it might not be like directly like ganking your lane 24/7, right? So, like, you know, just providing more vision for my team, you know, like taking down this turret so that way everyone can rotate is just like really good options. And yeah, that's like pretty much it, I guess. I guess this was like a pretty cool game for Braum. I'll probably try to play more Braum games. He's pretty broken this patch. So we'll see what happens. See you later.